It's pretty wild to consider the fact that there are over 1,000 Pokemon at this point, and each and every one of them is someone's favorite. Seriously, take a second to think about that. Each and every Pokemon out there is someone's favorite. So a Diglett or a Gloom could be someone's favorite Pokemon, and no matter how obscure they are or silly they might look, they resonate with someone out there. So based off of that notion, I'm going to be drawing and talking about your favorite Pokemon. Well, it may not be your favorite Pokemon, but it's your favorite. If it is your favorite, yay! This video is about your favorite Pokemon. So this first video is going to be about Rhydon, and the reason I wanted to start off with Rhydon is a bit trivial, but it's essentially because Ken Sugimori, which is the original creator and designer of Pokemon, he came out and said that Rhydon was actually the very first one that he designed, and that was way back in the day, so years before Red and Blue actually came to be. Rhydon was the very first Pokemon he had conceived and drawn. So looking over some Pokedex entries for Rhydon, in Red and Blue it said it's protected by an armor-like hide and is capable of living in molten lava of 3,600 degrees. In Pokemon Silver, its Pokedex entry reads that its brain developed when it began walking on hind legs. Its thick hide protects it even in magma. And in Ruby version, Rhydon's horn can crush even uncut diamonds. One sweeping blow of its tail can topple a building, and this Pokemon's hide is extremely tough. Even direct cannon hits don't leave a scratch. So, not sure if you can notice already, but it sounds like this Pokemon's skin is pretty thick and nearly impenetrable. It just plays off of the fact that it's super resistant to fire, the fact that magma just doesn't do anything to it, and it makes you think that if you're up against this thing with the fire type Pokemon, you're most likely going to lose. It's also throwing a little bit of shade at Rhyhorn since it says that its brain developed when it began walking on hind legs. So what does that mean? That Rhyhorn had no brain? That he's just like, his head was just like an empty carcass? He's just running around smashing into things? Nonetheless, Rhydon is also a stage 1 evolution, and it was a final evolution for about 3 generations, and in generation 4 we got our follow-up evolution, which is Rhyperior. Personally, I like this Pokemon a lot. In fact, I like it a lot more than Rhyperior, ironically. Maybe it's nostalgia, I'm not totally sure, but I know within some of the recent games, especially I think Pokemon X and Y, I'm saying it's recent, it's been like about 10 years at this point, but in that game, I actually prefer to keep it as a Rhydon and not evolve it into a Rhyperior, just so I can use Eviolite. I love that new item that gives a bunch of defensive stats to Pokemon that aren't fully evolved. And I know it already has like a pretty good defensive stat, so I felt like, you know what, let's add that onto it. It hits like a truck physically, and it has this awesome horn at the tip of its head, which reminds me of when I used to play Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. The animation of its horn was like constantly spinning on its head, and it had a move called Horn Drill, which was like a one-hit KO. So I always envisioned it as a kid where that drill on its head would just start spinning incredibly quick and just pummel the opponent and just leave a giant gaping hole in their belly. In terms of ranking this Pokemon, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Now, it's not my all-time favorite. It's definitely up there, and you know what? Maybe nostalgia is to blame for a lot of it. But overall, I think, it's kind of a simple design. It looks kind of like a dinosaur kaiju looking thing. It's all made of stone, and it's a rhino, which is like awesome because you got that horn aesthetic there, which is cool. But those are my thoughts on Rhydon. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw this Pokemon. Hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about this Pokemon. And I hope that, especially if it's your favorite, you enjoyed the video overall. If Rhydon is your favorite, comment down below and like this video so I'll know exactly how many people appreciate Rhydon. And if it's not your favorite, no worries. There are a lot more Pokemon left to cover. So comment down below which Pokemon is your favorite, and I might actually do a video on it next. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.